Right, so it's now winter time. The clocks are changing, it's getting darker, it's getting colder, which means we're going to stay indoors. We're going to just catch up on all these different little fun things that maybe we didn't want to do in the summer. One of the things that I really want to do more is play some more video games. I've had a PS5 since near enough launch. I've found myself playing mostly old games, to be fair. I don't have the budget to buy these £60 games, which I'm not having a go at the fact that games are £60. They take years to develop. A lot of people need to get paid to do them, and that's why they're so expensive. But my personal budget doesn't really allow me to buy lots of £60 games. So I'm really, really happy when a lot of these indie games are coming out for low prices. And one of the games I recently got, £17.99. Can't grumble at that. That is less than like a takeaway. And let's face it, a takeaway, once you've eaten it, tastes very nice. It's great. It's giving you a wonderful evening's entertainment, eating the food. But, a couple of days later, that's gone out back into the world. So spending £17.99 on a game, which is definitely going to last longer than a takeaway. The game I'm going to be talking about, which you can see on screen, I'm a tiny little window in this video now, is AWAKEN Astral Blade, which £17.99 on the PlayStation Store. I really liked it. I've not played a whole bunch of hours. I've certainly not finished it. I've not, speed run through the game to try and finish it in 8 hours, or gone a little bit more leisurely and done it in the 10. But it reminds me of why I got into video gaming in the first place. Now, I'm not a hardcore gamer. I do like video games. I'm a hardcore movie watcher, but I'm not a hardcore gamer. But I do enjoy playing games. And with AWAKEN, it just reminded me of the games I used to play back in the day, back in the 90s, back in the 80s. Obviously, graphics-wise, Astral Blade looks a lot better than a lot of the games in the 80s, but it kind of reminds me, you look at the play, you play a character called Tanya. Is it Tanya? I think it's Titania. Yeah, Tanya, sorry, brain freeze. And you're just running around hacking and slashing and collecting little gems and having boss fights, and it's a 2D platform. It's super easy to get into. I do struggle with some of the newer games, some of the proper like £60 games or whatever, because you seem to spend like an hour or two just going, right, how do the mechanics work on this? How does this work? How does that work? And that's not really, I don't find that part of gameplay and fun. I like to put a game on and go, but you know what? I've got 10-15 minutes to spend. I am just going to play 10-15 minutes worth of game, and then I'm going to go do something else, be it watch a movie, be it do some laundry, whatever. And so Astral Blade was very, very easy to get into. When you go into the game, there are 2 settings, so you can choose an easier one, or you can choose a little bit more technical one. I, of course, went for the easy one because I wanted to test drive this game pretty quickly and just see if it was the sort of game for me. Spoiler, it is the sort of game for me. It reminded me of something like Ghosts and Goblins, which, people of a certain age will be like, oh my god, I love Ghosts and Goblins. I haven't played Ghosts and Goblins for years. Just your scrolling 2D platformers where there is a storyline to it, but effectively you're just running through a landscape, hitting little creatures over their heads with swords, collecting their life force, and moving to the right-hand side of the screen, or down, or up, or wherever it is, a la Crash Bandicoot, or Sonic the Hedgehog, or something like that. Obviously, AWAKEN Astral Blade is a little bit more serious than Sonic the Hedgehog, but you get my point. It's a 2D platformer, very, very easy to get into. You're going to get at least 10 hours out of this game for £17.99. That is bargain money. Some of the £60 games, the campaigns are like 6 hours or something. Shout out to Call of Duty there. But obviously Call of Duty, you do get your money's worth when it comes to the multiplayer. I don't have PS Plus at the minute, so I just play the standalone games for anything. But it's a blast. I'm enjoying it. Apparently it's inspired by something called fluffed that up, didn't I? Muramasa the Demon Blade, which I will confess I've never heard of, but the team behind, I think it's a Chinese game, Astral Blade, that's been ported over to English language. There are some subtitles and dialogue at the beginning, and you know, I'm not one of these that's really into storylines. I appreciate the fact that these game designers, and it is a small team, apparently there's only 3 staff to who put this game together, so fair play to them. I love the fact that there is a storyline. I just don't really pay too much attention to storylines on video games. I just want to get in and have a blast and just play some games and escape from the world for 8 to 10 hours, obviously, but even if it's just 5 or 10 minute blocks, I had a blast with Astral Blade. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to try and finish it. I don't know if there's any trophies. Hopefully there is, because, you know, we do love trophies on us PlayStation people, don't we? So I just wanted to do like a short video with me talking, but obviously within the background of this video, the main thing you want to see is the gameplay of Astral. I had a blast. I think it's fun. I think a lot of people nowadays get hung up too much on frame rates or ray tracing or how many frames per second and all this sort of stuff. It's like, can we just get back to when games were entertaining and they were fun? And that's not to take anything graphically away from AWAKEN Astral Blade. I think the game looks great, but at its core, it is a 2D platforming hack and slash. And I love that. I miss those type of games. There's probably a whole bunch of them out there. I just don't even know where they are, but it's sort of rekindled my love for video games, and certainly the 2D platforming games that I used to do. I mean, we all did. You know, those who started in the video game industry. I'm sure JVB from the Post Game Report, he grew up on these 2D video games. I think he would get a kick out of AWAKEN Astral Blade. I know I did. So do check it out. £17.99 for 8 to 10 hours worth of playability. Definitely worth its money. It's a fun game. It's very, very easy to get into, and I do highly recommend you check it out. So let's just close this video out with a little bit of me getting absolutely annihilated by the big boss at the end of what I presume is the first level.